Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. It's your girl, Sonia McQueen, with your mind, your body, your choice. All right, so I keep recording these podcasts and forgetting to post them. That's just how crazy and busy it has been for me. I um, I think I recorded one every day this past week and only posted two, maybe three. So the other ones are just sitting there, but they're going to be sent out when they're supposed to be sent out, apparently. Today, I want to talk to you about opposition turning into opportunities. We all have oppositions in our life. We all have situations that bring us down, that make us sad. We've lost a job, we've lost a loved one, we've been evicted, we've lost our cars, we've been hurt and hospitalized. You name it. You name it, whatever your opposition is. We've had enemies that try to um, take away our careers, take away our livelihood. We've had oppositions. But what do you do with those oppositions? Do you just rail in them and complain about them and hold on to them for life and tell everybody how wronged you were or how wrong a situation was? Because most of the times they are wrong situations and you were wronged. Or do you know how to turn some of your oppositions into opportunities? Today, during my Bible lesson, every day I read this 365-day Bible plan. And today, actually, it was supposed to be yesterday's. I'm a day behind, so every day I've been reading one day behind. But today was opposition turned into opportunities. And I thought, oh, wow, how many times have I had an opposition that I turned it into an opportunity? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. You all know I gave up a child for adoption because I was in a horrible place of my life at the time. It almost took me out of here. It was a time I felt suicidal. I was super sad because I am a loving mother. It wasn't the fact that I was on drugs, never have been, alcoholic, never have been, but listening to a friend, not being mature and standing on my own 2 feet at the time. I was living with friends, having a time of my life with a daughter. I listened to a friend and I moved to another state. She had been begging me and begging me and begging me for years. So finally I thought, you know what? I need to grow up. Let me go ahead and go. Let me find a forever position, employment, go back to school. This is my best friend. But things weren't the way she made them sound when I got there. And for years I blamed her for me giving up my son. For years I wished nothing but harm and just almost death on her. It's sad to say, but it's true. I just wished the worst for her. I really wanted to hand it to her myself, but it wasn't her fault. And I've said this before on a podcast. It was my fault. It was my fault for not being in the right situation. I should have been. I was able-minded. I was a full-time reservist if I wanted to be, if I chose to show up. But I chose to have a good time. Even as a single mother, I chose to go out with my friend 2, 3 times a week and to the club and have a good time and sleep in late. And I put myself in the position. And had I not put myself in that position, had I been more mature and able and, I don't know, well-minded, I would have already been doing the right thing, so that when my friend made that offer, I'd be like, no, I have my foundation here. I'm good here, but let's spend time together. Let's visit. I love you. You love me. We're besties, so let's spend time. But I was looking for an escape route to start afresh, start anew. And of course, if you don't know the story, I ended up um, almost immediately in the hospital. But when I got there, her boyfriend didn't know I was coming, so he hated me right off the rip because she told him I just showed up. And she kind of told me the same thing about him. If you don't know the story, read the book. It's called Vanessa's Choice by Sonia Artist. True story. But anyway, I ended up in the hospital. She told me I couldn't come back to her house when I got to the hospital. And I ended up in the hospital giving birth to my child, who I ended up giving up because I had nowhere to go. That was definitely an opposition for me. It was a hard moment, one of the hardest in my life. I felt like 100% failure. I felt like the whole world knew I was sorry. I was a horrible mother. I was a horrible person. I felt like everybody knew it. Everybody. The hospital staff started treating me badly when they realized I gave up a child for adoption, especially when they realized I gave up a black child to a white family. Oh my God. My mother told me I was a horrible parent. My uncles, it was horrible. Once again, if you don't know the story, read it. It's actually what got me my start in Led by Motivation. So it was a horrible opposition for me, but years later, it turned into an opportunity. And I don't mean an opportunist. There's a difference. It was an opportunity to help other people and give them an understanding. We all go through things. It's what you do in the midst of your storm. And when you're coming out of that storm, that shows your character, shows your strength. And you got to play that forward. So when you're in that storm, you're not always thinking negatively. You're not being, as other people say, a pessimistic. You are being a forward thinker. You are surrounded by godly people, people who are going to speak positivity into your situation. They're going to speak of God's love. They're going to tell you when you come out of this, you're going to be stronger and better. Because so often we surround ourselves with those people who make us feel worse. Not on purpose, that's just what they are. They are negative speakers. Oh man, this is horrible. They don't mean any harm, but man, how you gonna fix this? This is horrible. Oh man, and it makes you feel worse and worse and worse. You gotta push those people to the side. You gotta pull in those people who speak prosperity, love, and positivity. You have to. And you're going to turn that opposition into an opportunity. So with me giving up my son for adoption, to release my pain, I started writing everything I felt. And I've told this story before, but somebody seen my writing, talked me into releasing it as a book, even though I did not want to, but I did. And that opened up a floodgate of people. Hey, come speak at my church. Come speak here. We need you here. We're going to send for you to come talk here. And I couldn't believe people wanted to hear my story because I sounded horrible in it. But we're in such a hurting world, you guys. Even the people with the biggest smiles sometimes have the deepest pain. They smile to cover their sorrow. And when you go speak at a church and you're telling them about the wrongs you've made and how you ended up in a situation where you gave away your child, they have such a great understanding because even though they don't have the same story, they have a story. They have a testimony. And now I'm helping. And then the next thing you know, I'm on radios all over the world and I'm still helping. People are sending me letters and emailing me and calling me because they want an olive branch. They want somebody who understands a situation they're in because it's not my situation, but it's a situation. And next thing you know, here comes Motivational Monthly, which again, if you're not getting it, shame on you. All you got to do is send me an email, ledbymotivation07@gmail.com, and I'll put you on the list. But All these things were birthed out of me giving up my child for adoption. I took an opposition and turned it into an opportunity. Led by Motivation was birthed in 2012. Here we are in 2023, and I am birthing Led by Motivation Outreach now to help hurting people, needy people, disenfranchised people, homeless, veterans with nowhere to go, living on the street, mothers sleeping in cars with their kids, people who didn't graduate and only have, 9th, 10th grade education and can't get a decent job and they're on the verge of being on the streets themselves. I'm helping them. All because I had an opposition that I'm turning into an opportunity. And it's not an opportunity where I'm lining my pockets. I have said, even when my friends talked about getting rich and back in the day being rappers and being dancers, because I was a dancer and doing this and doing that, all I ever said was, I just always hope God provides enough for me. I don't ever want to hurt or need for nothing. And he hasn't failed me, y'all. He hasn't failed me. Even before I gave up my son, he provided because I was homeless in the hospital. I left the hospital, was on a plane the next day on my way back to my friend's house. It wasn't my place, but it was a welcoming place for me. My friend Joanna Russell welcomed me with nothing but love. To this day, from age 17 to now 53, Russell is still one of my best friends. Took that opposition and turned it into an opportunity. I could give you other examples, but why should I? Why should I? You think about your oppositions and how, if you haven't done so yet, you can turn them around into opportunities. At the very least, turn them around to bless somebody else and help them. Don't wallow in your oppositions. Don't speak on your oppositions and keep them in the negative realm. Don't go around telling people about the bad, but you have no positive outcome in the end of your story. It starts bad, the middle is bad, and it ends bad. That's all bad. Stop speaking negativity into your own life. Cut it out. And definitely don't speak it into somebody else's life. You don't have the right. It's not your life. Mind your business. Mind your business and speak positivity and love into your own circumstances and situations. I plead with you, it will be the start of turning those frowns upside down, or better yet, putting realness behind those smiles we walk around with, because the sorrow behind the smiles will be gone. Y'all know where to find me. Sonya, SONYAM, Sonya M at ledbymotivation.com. You want to get motivational monthly, you have an idea about a podcast, or you want to be on the show, it is the same. Or you could hit me up at ledbymotivation07@gmail.com. You could always visit us at ledbymotivation.com. You have a beautiful day on purpose, and remember, turn those oppositions into opportunities.